Hello, my name is Nicola Maher and I'm a partner in the Insurance and Commercial Litigation Department here at Edwin Co. We're one of the UK's leading commercial and insurance litigation firms with extensive experience acting exclusively for policyholders in relation to insurance disputes, and these include property damage, business interruption, cyber risk and professional indemnity claims. Now, our clients include high net worth individuals and national and multinational companies of all sizes, and we offer advice over a range of sectors including hotel and leisure, retail, manufacturing, warehousing and logistics, and construction. I'm often instructed to act for both commercial and high net worth residential policyholders in relation to disputed insurance claims arising as a result of severe flood damage and loss. Now, given the concern that climate change and other factors will only serve to exacerbate flooding in current flood-prone areas, I thought it might be useful to consider what business owners can do to protect themselves and some of the common insurance issues which can arise in the event of a loss. Firstly, let's consider the statistics. In 2022, the Flood Flash Commercial Risk Report suggested that flooding from torrential rain threatens 42% of London's 300,000 commercial buildings, and that businesses are twice as likely to be at risk from flooding compared to the average British property. It's also reported that 40% of small businesses close for good after catastrophic loss from flooding, and 1 in 4 of those who have been flooded in the last decade report experiencing a prolonged period of business interruption. Now, over a quarter of the businesses that have flooded in the past decade experienced a period of business interruption after the flood, costs of which can include loss of revenue, ongoing wage costs, contract fulfilment fines, tax bills, and many others. Over 50% of businesses that flooded recently have also needed to replace or repair equipment and stock, rewire their electrics, and carry out expensive cleanup operations. So let's consider what business owners can do to protect themselves and perhaps some of the common insurance issues which can arise in the event of a loss. Firstly, businesses need to understand their actual risk level by assessing the flood risk in the local area and, of course, signing up for flood warnings. The government website allows you to check for long-term flooding risks in a particular area and can be quite helpful. Secondly, and when contemplating possible loss as a result of flooding, preparation of a flood plan is recommended, which will record key locations for electricity and water cut-off points, and will also list the necessary actions to limit the impact of a flood. And you can find useful information and draft flood plans on the Environment Agency website. Finally, get insurance cover and ensure that it is adequate and that you understand any terms, conditions and exclusions attached to that policy. So policyholders will seek my advice when insurers have declined cover or have avoided the policy altogether, or where they find themselves significantly underinsured. For a business manufacturer or retail or hospitality unit, the repercussions of either can be devastating. Having a business continuity plan will not only assist in re-establishing your business in the event of a loss, but it will also help business owners understand the potential effects of a loss on the business and the extent to which they should be insured. In order to avoid underinsuring your property or business, it's important to firstly review the sums insured under the policy to confirm that the premises has actually been insured for the full reinstatement cost, which needs to include professional fees, debris removal and demolition costs. Also needs to take account of hard standing, car parking and outbuildings, and it shouldn't be confused with the market value of the property. It's also important to ensure that, where available, there is adequate business interruption cover in place to compensate in the shortfall in gross profit, together with payment of any increased working costs. And when, of course, considering business interruption cover, business owners should give careful consideration to the length of the indemnity period under the policy. And that's to ensure that the business is afforded sufficient time to recover to the position it would have been in had the insured risk not occurred. A point to note here is that 12 months is rarely enough time. If the property is leasehold, business owners need to inquire whether the landlord has taken out sufficient insurance to cover the building against flood damage, and whether it's a term of the lease that the rent will be suspended whilst the building is reinstated. Now, policyholders are also under a duty of fair presentation to insurers, so it's equally important to check the information that you're providing to insurers or that your broker is providing to those insurers, and that information is contained in the statement of fact or within the pre-inception or pre-renewal questionnaire. So if, for example, there are questions or statements about the location of the premises and its distance from any watercourses, rivers or streams, then it's important to ensure that any such statements or answers are as accurate as possible. Otherwise, you run the risk of insurers being entitled to decline any claim or to only pay a proportion of it on account of any breach of that duty of fair presentation. These are just some of the issues to consider when obtaining insurance for your business or your commercial premises. And there are, of course, numerous reasons why a policyholder may have insurance cover refused or perhaps a payment reduced. If you'd like to arrange a free preliminary discussion in respect of any insurance-related issues or disputes, then please don't hesitate to get in touch.